Welcome back to Mommy Mondays. Okay, so normally I would just start a new video if something like that happened where I forgot to press pause instead of stop. But I'm not doing that this time because this is such a sensitive topic and it's hard for me to go through. So I'm just continuing in this part. Hopefully you will have wanted to hear the rest and you'll come over to this episode. It's the same episode. It's just I guess part B. Right. So I was saying the different reactions on social media can stop people from actually sharing. So it is incredibly brave for anyone going through any sort of, especially health, because health is something you can't control and you really don't know what will happen. So it's incredibly brave of her to actually share. And we're talking about Jill Stewart, remember. Now, my aunt who raised me, Shahini Robinson, she was a member of parliament here. She was a minister of government, actually. She didn't share much. The public ended up finding out, and she did speak to it if asked, but she wasn't as openly transparent about her battle. And I'm going to say that it probably had a lot to do with the fact that she was a minister of government and she would have had a seat. Now, if you are ailing and having a seat, sheer politics will have people gunning for your seat, basically pronouncing you dead before you are. So, I mean, we never spoke about why she was so private about sickness, because she was always private about sickness. And even when we're talking about the different approaches to how people deal with sickness, when my Auntie Dorrit, that would be my brother's mom, when she had cancer, we didn't know. So we knew she was sick sometimes, and we knew, and I mean, maybe my brothers knew differently, and maybe I was just naive, so I can't like broad brush it, but I know when she lost her hair, I didn't know it was cancer. I wasn't aware of those things. I know she was wearing a wig at some points. I know she had tied her head at some points. I know when she went to New York, but it was just posed as a trip. It wasn't like it was for treatment. And when I really knew that something was wrong was when they picked us up from boarding school, because we all went to Knox at boarding school. And they picked us up to go to Kingston to Medical Associates to see her. And she was in the hospital, but she was still smiling and nice to us. She hadn't, like, to me, she didn't look, I still didn't know she was going to die. I knew she was sick at that point. And she died shortly thereafter, leaving her two boys, and then me to an extent, but nowhere near the extent that they would have lost their mother. As I grew up, I found out that she knew that something was going to happen, and so she had put things in place for her sons. But remember, I grew up with them, and I can tell you that well, first of all, out of complete gratitude, we had a very supportive family. Auntie Shahini was basically at our beck and call for just about everything we needed. Daddy Pizza was around. He was more of a, that old-time father, though. So I guess he was more, I had better access to him than they did. But he was still there. Like, you understand? But you kind of have to tell him what you need. It wasn't like Auntie Shahini, who is anticipating what the needs could be. There was also Auntie Rosie, who made sure that all financial things were taken care of and everything, like, that we were supposed to go to school and all of those things. Everything that had to do with, like, by the book, things that had to be done were done. Because Auntie Shahini was a little more, she's more the caregiver and the more involved, hands-on, but she's not that straight and narrow type person. So I only say this because, remember, like, my parents weren't involved either, so not might as well. It's a very different situation, but you understand, like, I would have been exposed to all of it. So what I can tell you, though, is from growing up with them, is that there is no replacement. You hear me? Listen to me good. There is no replacement for your mother. They missed her every single day. And it manifested in different ways because everybody is different. So those two boys were very, very different. Even to this day, they're very, very different. And the one thing that I know in dealing with them is that they both think their lives would have been so much different had their mother been around. And it would have. There's no denying that. And I think that is the one fear that every mother probably has if they are faced with actually sitting and thinking about it. Which is why for this week's Mommy Mondays, I want to delve into it, because it's something that we need to talk about. Yes. You want to say hi? Huh? You want to say hi? Okay. Hi. Say hi. Hi. So, you want me to go with you? All right, give me 1 second again. Pause. So I'm back. Sorry about the little break. I normally do this when Lyric is either at school or sleeping, but if you noticed, I started when he was sleeping, but he woke up. So he's back. And he doesn't want me videoing. Let Mommy just finish her video and then I'll go everywhere with you. Okay? So watch Miss Rachel a little bit, please. No. Okay. So now I know I can never do this again. I have to do it when he's at school or when he's napping, because he really wants me involved in everything that he does. So back to where we were. Where the point that I was making is that I think every mother's biggest fear is for a child to live without them. You know that there are people that will love them like their own. You know that they will learn, I guess, what they need to learn along their own journey. But you never truly feel like it's you, because it's not, So, and you know that they'll be missing out on you. You know that you'll be missing out on them. And you know that your best interest, their best interest is always in your heart. So, when I get back to Bravery, in terms of how much she shared at a time when all of these things would have been going through her mind and all the fears would have been setting in, it's just incredible. And there he goes again. Yes, Lyric? Okay, so Lyric has taken over Mommy Mondays. Let's see. Right? Yeah. So can Mommy sit with you? Yeah. Okay. So for those of you who aren't mommies, this is a true representation. What? What? This is a true representation of how needy they really are and how much they demand your attention. So just think about it. Think about it. But it's the best thing ever. Let me just tell you. I must tell you that. Now, back to Jill and how amazing she was for doing what she did. And the benefit that I think those kids will have. So that's why I said it's a topic that I really do want to discuss. So because she was transparent in all that she did, and this video might be choppy because of the fact that I've been dealing with Lyric at the same time, but just go with me, right? So, and remember, there's no right or wrong way, but the way she did it was very admirable because she involved her kids in the process. So whereas I think closure takes longer when kids don't know and when they're not quite sure and when they're trying to piece everything together. In her case, from her diagnosis with, I think it was a lump behind her knee, it's a sarcoma. She talked about the diagnosis. She talked about the fact that she had to go away for treatment, and she did other things, I think, here. And she did breast. Okay, remember, we're normalizing breastfeeding. So besides all those things that she did, you know, when she knew that her hair, she would be losing her hair, I think the whole family trimmed together, so that I guess they could get a sense of what she was going through as well. And so they understood what was happening. And anytime she'd get, like, even when she got a chance, I think she got a chance to come back at some point. And I remember her posting that she was able to drive her kids to school that day. And that's such a normal thing, which is a testament to what kind of mom she was. Because especially if you are of means in Jamaica, you can have someone drive your kids to school. Some people are not of means and have someone else drive them to school. But I was once told, actually, when my son was born, someone said to me, always drive him to school. Now, I don't drive him to school. Johnny does that. I drive him from school, though. And she said, I think it was Susie Wong, actually. She said, the exchanges that take place on that ride to and from school, they're priceless. You don't want to miss out on those. And obviously, Jill had the option and the opportunity to miss as much as she wanted to. And she opted to always be a part of her children's lives. So just driving them to school made a big difference to her. And it was a big deal for when she couldn't do it. So she really wanted to. Now, even that, so imagine, like, you realize your diagnosis or your prognosis or whatever, and you are fighting, right? Fighting for your life, but you're mindful that you have these kids that you are setting example for, you're guiding them through, you're helping them process. But then you also decide, you know what, I'm going to share it with the world. For those people who might go through this or might have gone through this or might be going through this. And I think it's incredibly selfless. I think it's amazing. I just think it's just one of those things that we didn't need one less Jill Stewart. We need a lot more of her. So obviously my heartfelt condolences are to her family and friends and for all those that she touched. But I'm really hoping that we learn something from what she did. And I'm hoping that people are kinder on social media, because I think I was talking about my aunt earlier when I got cut off, saying that, based on politics, there was only so much she could actually share, because you don't want it to be a situation where she's thinking more about her career than her well-being at a time when it is her well-being that is supposed to be the focus. And sharing too much on social media will cause that, because of the fact that in that sort of a scenario, which is very adversarial and very if you come out, I go in, there are people that really are waiting for you to die. I'm telling you the absolute truth. Like, there are people that were hoping that she passed away. And that was very painful for me, because remember, there is no replacement for a mother, but she was the closest thing to a mother that I had, like in the actual day-to-day, in the actual, who do I go to when something goes wrong? Who do I go to when something feels right? Who do I go to when I'm not sure? It was her. And so learning that there were people that were okay if she died, that were hoping that she died, that were looking for something as trivial as her seat that she built. But she built, because it wasn't her seat before that, right? It reminds you of the inhumanity of people. And then along comes a Jill Stewart who reminds you of the humanity. And as I tell you, the world is not a better place for having lost her. The only good thing is, if you believe in the different realms and the universe and all these things, you know that she's going to show up somewhere else. And you know that the goodness that she did share will ooze through those children, and it will manifest in other things. But they will never be the same. They will always feel a sense of loss. They will never know what their lives would have been had she lived. And I think that's her fear. I think that shark, yes. A lot of sharks. Shark. Yes, shark. You want to show the people? Let's show them. Lyric has some baby shark stickers. So, I think that would be her biggest fear, and that would be what she's thinking of. She'll never be a part of their major milestones to come. And she doesn't know. She wants them handled in the best possible way. And she'll have absolutely no control over that. Not that we can control much while we're alive, but we can control ourselves and what we do. And knowing that what we do is the best for our children, then, we don't fear that. So, I don't know if I made any sense. I hope you guys understood. But I want to close by saying the things that we can do while we're alive, because tomorrow is promised to no one, and nobody knows when their number will be called. The things that we can do is shark. That's a yellow one. Yellow, pink, blue, pink.
No.
Yes.
Shark.
Shark.
No.
Yes.
Up dog.
What?
Dog.
It's, what is that?
And the cat.
What is it?
And that's the guy.
I don't know. I think it's like a jellyfish. Eh. So I want to close by saying the things that we can do while we're alive is to be as connected to our children as possible, be as present as possible. Know that no matter if we die when they're 6, 16, 60, they're still our children and the ones that we feel most connected to. So what we can do to try to ease their... Yes, octopus. But that's not an octopus. No, it's not. An octopus has legs. These are like, not legs. I don't know what those. Well, it would be a jellyfish, I think. Yeah.
Shark.
That's a shark, yes. Shark, yes. And then that's a fish.
A water?
I think it's a jellyfish.
No.
Yeah.
Water.
Water. Okay, yes, water around there, yes. So what I think we can do...
Mommy.
Yes. Is we can make sure... Yes.
Let's try.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Shark.
Yeah.
Can mommy just finish telling the people, like, for a minute what she wants to? Yes, octopus. But there's not an octopus here. Okay? Water, yes.
Water?
Yes. So what I think we can do, and remember, I'm just a mom for 5 minutes. Yes. I hope you guys see what goes on. Is Miss Rachel singing?
No.
What is she singing? No, you don't want to go see Miss Rachel? Right. So what I think we can do is be as transparent with them as possible. Now, for those of us who are private and don't want to be as transparent, I have a solution. I think we could do videos, little videos, even like these. I mean, I'm happy that he would have these whenever I pass away, because we're all mortal. So if it's when he's 6, 16, 60, there's videos that we can leave behind, just talking to them or talking about ourselves, because a lot of the missing that goes on is them not having gotten to know their mom better over the years. So talk about yourself, talk to your children in video form, and just keep them, or maybe just set up an email address on Gmail or one of them, and you just send them those, and then at some point they are allowed the password and they can get in there and see all that you've sent. Also, writing. I think writing to them, maybe through cards or even just little notes. Writing a memoir might be more challenging, right? But writing little notes to them, how you feel about them on a certain day, might be helpful.
Water.
Yes, water, lots of water, right? So what I'm trying to say is, I think the most pain that takes place, yes, I don't know. I think the most pain that takes place is in the unknowing, in the feeling of having missed out, which they have. But if it is that we set it up, just like how we plan financially for their future, just like how we make sure we have life insurance, just like how we make sure we, have different funds for them, just like how we set them up in that way, I think we can invest in them emotionally by doing the little things that will give them the sense of connection even though we're gone. Now, that's not to say we know how they're going to take it, and that's not to say it's not going to cause some pain, etc., especially in the beginning. But at some point, as they come to terms with it, I think that they will feel a little better knowing that we thought of them at that point. And they know from the financial things, but they don't know in terms of their psyche and how all of it would affect them. So I think if we can do that, any snippets of advice, anything like that. And now I'm going to have to take my own advice because, this YouTube series is not enough. But it's something, right? So it's a start. But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying we don't have to go all out. We don't have to. There's no rule book, and we don't know how this works. We don't. Everybody responds to things so differently. But I think that the effort is worth it for them to feel like they were thought of, because they were. They were thought of so much in life that if we are not able to survive into their old age when they consider it normal for us to have passed, and I don't know that they'll ever feel that. I don't know. But at least there would be something that they could look at, that something they could hear. Your voice they could hear, something they could, So that's just my 2 cents in it. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I was moved to share, because I feel like her journey was so selfless. And I think it was so needed. I think it resonated with so many people that may she rest in absolute eternal peace. With all the love and blessings to her friends and family, to those children. A mommy who probably could have shared so much more with you than I can, but nonetheless, we thank her for her journey and for sharing it. So that's been today's Mommy Mondays. We'll get back to regularly programming next week, and we'll be amazing again. And sorry this was a little bit long because of the 2-part episode, but you know how it goes. And sorry that Lyric interrupted as much as he did, but I'm a very hands-on mom, so I'll just do it next time when he's sleeping or when he's at school. Okay, bye and have a great week, guys.